The Four of Wands. The Four of Wands being the overall here, it's about getting stability back in a relationship here, but you guys are running the risk of it coming to, you know, a difficult, painful ending. But it's going to be because of what the other person chooses to do here, and that's the kicker for me. So let's just start from the beginning here. Now, absolutely, with the Four of Wands, we could be talking about a marriage for some of you. For others of you, it's going to be about whether or not to build a life with somebody, or at least trying to, and again, stability. You coming in with death, something has changed for you. There are certain things that have come to an end, and it is changing the way that you are and the way that you're acting in this relationship. The other person is trying to understand this. But I also look at this as with the Page of Swords, if they're only, you know, giving you part of the story, for you, it's like, no, I'm not, that's not going to work anymore. That kind of shit needs to be over with. You know, again, like the Page of Swords is about trying to process the information that has been given. For this person, though, this may be perceived as the news that they didn't want to hear. But I think that it's because it's directly related to them. It's going to have to do with things that have changed in such a drastic way for you that, you know, is because of them, but they are also trying to understand it. You then, moving into the Knight of Swords, is you like being very blunt, very truthful about, you know, how you have experienced the past. You know, and it's not about you needing to seek answers. For you, it's like, look, if you're only going to give me half truths, then let me just be straightforward with you about, you know, why things have definitely changed for me and why some things are definitely needing to be over with here. They, though, are looking at it as a star, which means to them they're seeing a hope that things are going to be able to move forward here. Or they are trying to, you know, kind of heal the situation in the relationship. But it's only because you have had to be very direct and very blunt with them about, you know, what you've experienced. The Nine of Swords, though, you know, makes me wonder if there is a part of you that just can't, like, get over the thoughts surrounding, you know, what they have not been very clear about, or what may have happened in the past that caused you to kind of go through the death cycle, right? It's almost like, if we're going to do this again, you know, those things definitely have to be over with. But for you, it's like your mind is still playing out, you know, those things over and over again. And a lot of that, though, is going to be because for them, they're making a drastic, sudden, like, boom change here. Because with the Tower, it's like all of a sudden, you know, here is all this stuff. And for you, it's like, oh my God, all the things, all the thoughts I think from the past are like coming back up. Now, on the other hand, it may be you kind of like, you know, not really getting over something that may have happened in the past. You're still kind of playing it out in your mind. I mean, either way, yeah. But for them, it's like, wait a minute, that's not what I expected. But I don't know. Something about this says to me that this is their action only because of the Devil falling out as like the finale here. But it being on their side is very telling. The Page of Pentacles. This is you looking at being realistic about how, you know, to kind of like get this going, getting this to a place of stability. How are we going to start over here? Because you're starting from the ground. And I mean, absolutely with the Tower, but that's because of what they've done, though. Like I'm telling you, it's something that they've done that caused like a sudden drastic like turn here from, you know, being hopeful or trying to heal, and then, you know, it's all of a sudden, no, it's not going that way anymore. And like I said, with the Ten of Swords, right, you're talking about something painful here, but it's because of a negative attachment on their side here with the Devil coming out. Ew, boy. And then the Three of Cups. Okay, so yeah, I mean, with the Devil being, you know, the main card here, yeah, this just being the circumstances around it, I do think that it's going to have to do with an outside influence, third-party situation, another person being involved. but it's also you not wanting to deal with that or not wanting to be the third party anymore, I think. And I feel like this is you and your response to it, but they have pushed you kind of to that point, because I think this is a repeat. You should have been working on this relationship, but things start to collapse. But again, it's because of their unhealthy attachment. You know, it's not about you. Okay. The moon. For you, it's like, all right, you know, I thought that we were like starting over, but it's almost like wanting to give up here because you don't really know what the hell is going on. You know, and it really is about, I think, them kind of like trying to mask what they're not willing to face with the devil. And then whether or not, you know, it's about a negative pattern with another person that they're still kind of like dealing with here, not really, you know about it, I think, but they're not really giving you the full story. Right? And that's kind of where this kind of situation needs to come to an end. It's almost like they're not fulfilling a promise here to kind of like deal with those situations and move things forward. But with the Ten of Pentacles, the reason why there's an attachment is because there's at least some level of security that you just, I don't get it. What the hell? That doesn't make any sense at all. Why would you have security with something that you know is negative and cause this relationship to come to this kind of an end? You know? Now, looking at the Six of Swords and then looking at the Eight of Wands, I feel like looking at this, the reason why we're looking at the Page of Pentacles is because at some point there is going to be some communication, some more information that you're learning here. Definitely with the Page of Pentacles. But for you in your mind, you're trying to, you know, move on. You're trying to move on from all that kind of conflict. There is definitely communication on their part here with the Eight of Wands, but we're also talking about like somebody who is quickly shifting their gears. It's like they, you know, at one point, like I said, it's like, okay, let's heal. You know, there's a reason to hope here. But then it's like they quickly go a different direction. And, you know, I almost feel like with that Six of Swords that this is something that you have tried to move on from before. But like I said, there's a reason why those things are continuously kind of like playing out in your mind. But like I said, with the Five of Swords, this is, I feel like you and your response to this, and I understand. It's hostile. It's angry. It's, you know, going back to, you know, this Knight of Swords, but doing it in a way where you're being very harsh, because you're not going to deal with that kind of situation anymore. That does need to be done and over with, but you are dealing with a person who has a negative attachment, possibly to another person here. And they are preventing the ability to start to build things in a better way here. You know, it's their actions. You know, you, I think, at one point are probably going, you know, this is ridiculous. Maybe I shouldn't be thinking this way, right? But it's like all of a sudden, boom, you know, it's the same shit almost. It's stuff that should have been over with to begin with. All right. You, I feel like, are needing to find love for yourself instead of going back and kind of reflecting on what somebody has done to you to break your heart. That's kind of how I feel about this. I feel like, you know, there is this kind of like mending here, but for some reason it's either you or somebody else that's not able to let it go. And they're trying to kind of like get past this though and see, you know, what they're really envisioning in terms of this relationship. So with the Wheel of Fortune and the Two of Cups, this is definitely about, you know, things working out in your favor here, things starting to change in the relationship in a good way. And this is a really good connection with the Two of Cups. There's a lot of, you know, emotional attachment here, and it looks really good. Now, with the Three of Cups, again, you know, this is one of the getting back together cards, but it is about mending the broken heart here, you know, and at least it being in a good way. And with the Eight of Wands, we're talking about, you know, enjoying the moment here, but then also, you know, things moving quickly in a relationship or wanting to, you know, move the relationship to a different level here. But this is really about needing to enjoy this moment. But instead, somebody is reflecting back on, you know, somebody causing pain. And like I said, with the Hermit, it's like they're trying, though. It's like they're trying to envision, you know, what they're wanting, I think, in the long term, and trying to get past that kind of hurt, though. And then the Eight of Swords. There's something that I think that somebody is still not like okay with. Because when you're looking at the Eight of Swords, you're talking about somebody who's being put in an uncomfortable position. But this could also be about, you know, you dealing with a situation where absolutely this is a really good relationship. The sun is shining. Everything looks good. You know, there was the ending of a situation here, ending of a cycle with the Wheel of Fortune, better things happening, a really good relationship and connection. Here is the opportunity to start over again. And, you know, there's the enjoying what's going on. But I look at this and I think there is something that somebody is like not really dealing with. Now, on the other hand, we could be talking about you dealing with a situation where somebody is not acknowledging the pain that you were put through. You know, now on the other hand, with this being in future conditions, though, you may be, you know, having this new beginning, but somebody may be doing something stupid. And you may not be comfortable with, you know, continuing to be involved with this person, though. You know, but again, it all goes back down to you needing to have self-respect. Don't put yourself in a situation that you're not comfortable with. Whether we're talking about, you know, you having a new beginning with a relationship that goes wrong, or a new beginning with a past relationship here where things are starting to work out, but they're not, you know, paying attention to where you have been hurt, or, you know, you them. But with the Hermit, it's like you need a minute here to really think about, you know, are you comfortable with doing this? Are you comfortable with being a part of this again? You know, but I don't doubt that there is an emotional connection, love, the attempt to at least heal the pain. But there's not a whole lot of communication about what has actually gone on in the relationship. I think that some of you are either looking at this person as a new person, right? Like they're a brand new person and they're stirring up old feelings. Or we are literally talking about here you putting yourself back out there because things just can't go back to what they were in you possibly meeting somebody else. The Emperor, first of all, with the Seven of Swords, you're dealing with a person here who is full of passion, full of drive. You know, it could be a male here, you know, could be somebody older, all of those traditional things with the Emperor. But I really look at this as somebody who isn't really thinking about anything other than, you know, like physical connection here. But there is a disconnect. There is a disconnect with the Seven of Swords, and it may be because of this person's personality and how they were in the past. Because you're not, you know, mentally connecting, physically connecting with the Seven of Swords. And like I've always said, I look at this and think that there's a truth that needs to be spoken between the both of you. But I think it's specifically having to do with the way that somebody is and the way that they act. Now, looking at the Eight of Cups, somebody is being a little bit too pushy. You know, somebody is not really fully in it, and it's because of, you know, the connection not being like it was in the past, not necessarily this past, but before this disconnect. Because I look at this and I think somebody is focused on, you know, that is what I wanted. Why is that not what I am getting from them? This is not the person that I knew or that I thought I knew. You know, that, or there's still a lot of focus on how they have acted in the past and things not, you know, really going on between the two of you, and you not wanting to be forced to kind of like be involved with this person even though they're full of passion and drive and wanting this connection. Now, with the Six of Wands, it may be that you're putting yourself out there emotionally here, and you may be getting an emotional response from this person who may be more, you know, caring and loving, which makes them the new person. Or we're talking about you getting attention from somebody else. Oh boy. Cancer, the hell is going on? The moon. The moon I look at as fantasy, living out fantasy. People fantasizing about each other, but it's not real. It's not real. The fantasy is not being made real, I don't think, here, because of the Seven of Swords and seeing this disconnect. With Temperance, this is you like trying, I think, like trying to, you know, keep the passion going or build the passion back up for this person, but there are things from the past that you're still reflecting on. You know, and I The moon, man. The moon and the Seven of Swords is what I'm looking at going, you know, I think that at some point you thought that possibly it could be what you're fantasizing about, but it's not, though. But like I said, somebody here with temperance is definitely, you know, trying to get the passion built back up, or, you know, they're just needing to, like, take a minute here because there's still a lot of focus on the past. But I don't like that Page of Swords at all, because this could be the issue, though. If we're talking about an existing relationship here and you really not being clear in the past in terms of how this person thinks and how they feel, you may still have a passion and drive for them, you, but there is another influence here, somebody who may be, you know, being like a stalker in the relationship, causing problems, somebody who's literally up your ass or your partner's ass, you know, and they're not, like, letting them go almost. But again, I kind of look at the King of Cups, and I think that, you know, for a lot of you, it's you hopefully seeing a different side of this person and then being a little bit more emotionally open and, you know, putting that kind of out there for you and, you know, wanting you to give them that attention on an emotional level. But this is a problem. This is a problem. Now, on the other hand, if you are putting yourself out there and you're meeting somebody new, it's because they're, you know, constantly bugging the shit out of you. I mean, it's one or the other here, but this is going to be a problem in future conditions here in terms of a relationship. You know, don't be tempted by a new person here just because they may be giving you the attention that you want, even though somebody is not acting how they used to or how you remember or, you know, how you're envisioning that. Or like I said, there's a past here that you may not be able to let go of the other person.